What's up, y'all? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my second time doing this video because I really want to give y'all more information and more detailed stuff. So with that getting whoa, I cannot talk today, y'all. It's not just on camera, it's in real life. But y'all, with that being said, let's get into the word of the day.
You the one. You the one God chose. You wondering why you going through everything you going through right now, everything you've been through. Wondering like, man, God, why me? That's why.
So honestly, y'all, I do not know what the word of the day is today because I was having such a hard time picking something before I did this video. So just drop down in the comment section down below if the word of the day touched you, if it resonated with you, and if it was for you. Because that's what they're for. They're for like your reminders of what God promised us. Okay? So with that being said, y'all, let's get into this video. As y'all see by the title, today is the story time how I found out my friend was messing with my boyfriend. Not my present, but my ex-boyfriend. And y'all, this is why I do not trust no female around my man. And I also do know it's about trusting your man. I know that. It's not that I didn't trust my ex then. And present tense, it's not that I don't trust my man now. It's I'm a female and I've witnessed this shit too many times. It's been a lot of like envious and weird girls around me in my lifetime being on this earth. So I don't trust it, and I'm not gonna trust it, you know. No, I'll be a fool if I do that shit again. But anyways, y'all, this story time took place roughly 2 years ago. I was a junior in high school, y'all. So me and this girl, we're gonna call her Ashley, okay? Me and this girl, we had went to middle school together, but we didn't really talk much in middle school. We kind of had like high and by type conversations, and it was just like, it was really nothing to like, okay, acknowledge that, okay, I spoke to that girl before, or me and her was friends before. No, it was nothing like that. So junior year had happened, and I had happened to have first period with her, and y'all, the whole class, I did not see her, but when the class was over, she had came up to me and she was like, hey Christelle, like, do you remember me? And I was like, hey Ashley, I didn't even see you. And then from there, that's kind of where our friendship started. So y'all ever had one of them friends, or them, I should say person, like a person that you got super close with, like in a year span? That was literally our friendship. My ex, we're gonna call him Ron in this story time. So me and Ron, we had went to the same school. Me, Ron, and Ashley had went to the same school. And I used to always do everything with Ron because I wasn't very big on female friends, and I'm still not, low key, only because it's a lot of like weird shit that has happened like with girls. And as y'all seen by some of the story times, or all the story times that I've given to y'all, it's so much shit. Like a lot of females would like have so much envy and jealousy and like weird animosity to cross me. So I was always kind of big on, I'm gonna just keep to myself. If I have a good friend, I have a good friend. But I never really expected anything to be temporary, which sucks. Let's jump back into the story. Yeah, I'm sorry, like I just had to put it out there because I know I'm not the only one who felt like that or have that same type of mindset or feeling towards like female friendships. So yeah, I'm really just dolo. Like I can't hurt myself. I can't cross me. I eventually started doing like a lot of stuff with her because like I said, it was just always me and my ex, me and Ron all the time. And he thought that it would be healthy too, like if I also like spend a lot of time with her and hang out with her. And I agreed. So, you know, most of the time, instead of like on my free periods I'm with Ron, now I'm with Ashley. Or sometimes during my lunch, instead of me being with Ron, I'll spend half of it with Ashley, or sometime all of it with Ashley, and then like see him in our scheduled periods. I just started opening up about our relationships and the stuff that we go through like outside of like boys, just as girls, you know what I mean? And it was just one of those friendships that you genuinely enjoy. Like, y'all ever had like one of those friendships where you go to school because you know you're gonna be with that person, and that just makes your day, like just being around that person, knowing that y'all gonna be laughing all motherfucking day, and it's just gonna be like a good ass day like every day because that person is there. I think that's how we was for one another. Like we actually end up like telling me like a lot about her relationship. She also had a long-term relationship, but it was cheating with like heavy set girls. I don't want to call them big, but like heavy set girls, like girls that girls that did not look nothing like her. So Ashley was going through kind of just like this overwhelming sadness where it was like, I can't please him, and the people that he's cheating with don't look nothing like me. And you know, like that honestly had her like crying and sad all the time. So I was like, you know what, girl, let's just go ahead and find someone like at our school. Let's just get you like a little rebound. So she ended up finding this boy, and this boy is significant because it's going to be a real full circle moment with him. Yeah, we're going to call him Devin for, you know, the story. And Devin was a basketball player, and he was also like a D1 and like one of the, like, I don't want to say popular because like he was just very known, like one of like the most known people at our school. So I was like, okay, girl, like, okay. So her and Devin end up like starting dating, hooking up. But Devin had this ex that he just could not get over, or she couldn't get over him. I think it was she couldn't get over him because Devin was all into Ashley and wanted to be with Ashley, but Ashley was still stuck on her ex, and then the ex-girlfriend was still stuck on Devin, which caused them to kind of like be like a little separation, but they were still fucking with each other. In the midst of all that, I'm hearing about Ashley and her situation. I was also telling her a lot about my situation because, y'all, I kind of realized me and Ron kind of started being like very distant, and it was just like most of the shit that never got to us started getting to us. One of those things was, y'all, not for 3 years or 2 years plus, I had stalkers. And I mean, like every day after school, during school, these people would text off of texting our numbers, and they would be like, oh, Christelle was just with me, she was stuck in my D. Oh, I was eating her. Oh, I had sex with Christelle in the car, and like vice versa. Or Ron was just with me, like I be like, your man be eating me every, like it was shit like that. It was like some trolling ass shit every fucking night. And when I say like, it's not that I wasn't expecting it, but I wasn't expecting that shit because that was too far. Because y'all, day to day at school, everyone, like the niggas that wanted to fuck with me would always come up to me and be like, oh, why don't you break up with your boyfriend? You deserve better, all of that. Like, I could treat you better. But it wasn't like Ron wasn't treating me good because, y'all, I've never been a dummy bitch. Like, I've never been a dummy bitch, okay? So with them always constantly saying this to me, I kind of figured that it was them on the phone, but I'm like, damn, why the fuck y'all taking it as far as like to text me and like my ex like every fucking night during school? Like it was a constant thing. So I kind of realized Ron kind of became like super insecure, or like super like closed offish. I really should say he became very closed offish towards me, and he really didn't want to talk to me as much or interact with me. And I used to like, you know, that shit hurt my feelings. So it was shit that I was telling Ashley as well. Like, I don't know, he's being super distant. And, you know, I would reassure him the best that I could, but it was like, it was getting to him too much. Because to add on to that, Ashley was kind of like known, like she associated with a lot of popular people. And with me and Ashley being together all the time, like, and I'm not saying like nobody knew me, because people knew me. It was just they couldn't really get much conversation out of me because most of the times it would be like niggas trying to talk to me or some weird ass females. So it's kind of just like no one really got a chance to like talk to me. But when me and Ashley got really close, they really started seeing my personality and fucking with me more. So I took that into consideration, and I had plenty of conversation with Ron, but he was just not budging, and that was causing distance in our relationship. And that's the same thing that I had told Ashley. So Ashley already kind of knew what the fuck was going on with me and Ron. And you know, we kind of just kept it pushing, gave each other the best advice that we could. Like, we was there for each other, like, I'm not gonna lie. And then, y'all, it's this character, we gonna call her Red, because Red played a significant part. So with me and Ron going through all the shit that was going through, of the lack of communication and just like distantness in our relationship, like I didn't go out telling everyone what the fuck was going on between me and him, but you know, Ashley knew everything type shit. Okay, so Red had been one of the girls that wanted to talk to Ron for the longest. And I mean like 3 years longest, 4 years longest. Before they even came into high school, because we all end up going to the same high school, which is weird, but I mean shit happens. And Red always had this like weird obsession with him. And you know, for the whole years that me and him was fucking with each other before we started getting real distant, he used to always like reassure me like, you know, it's nothing like that. And I could see it. Like when I say I had every password, I had every password, I had every fucking thing. So I could see in myself that this bitch was just plain delusional. And it wasn't like she was coming back to me like, oh, I was with your man, da 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 da. Like, it was weird because it wasn't even on no hating that shit. Like, this girl genuinely wanted to be like cool with me, just to get closer to Ron, or just like cool with me to feel closer to him, if that makes sense. But would still like say shit like, I remember when me and Ron went to the same middle school, and you know, like she would just like fabricate stuff to make it seem like it was more than what it actually was. And y'all, in the beginning of our relationship, that did concern me, because I'm like, ain't no bitch gonna just be delusional for no reason. It gotta be something going on with y'all. Ron used to always tell me like, no, it's not nothing, and I could show you. Me and this girl never had no conversations together, you know, and just X, Y, and Z. So I was like, all right. I dropped it, and I could genuinely see like over time, like it was just this girl and her delusion. So I'm like, all right, cool. But y'all, when me and him started getting real distant, it wasn't as much as foundation and trust to stand on, if that makes sense. So it's like most of the stuff that I kind of just like let bypass, text messages, read, and just like any other suspicions that a female in a relationship could have, like I couldn't, like I had to like pay attention to it, like hold on, let me see this time, instead of just like taking his word. It kind of started bothering me a lot at this point, so I started expressing that with Ashley. And you know, she was on some shit like, okay, like if you feel like it's something going on, let's figure it out. So we kind of just started like setting up like a trap just to see if Red was gonna say anything like more recent or anything that made sense. I was more so focused on figuring out what was going on with Ron, like wholeheartedly. Like I've never had to deal with like no cheating scandals, no anything with Ron. Like I would say that was a relationship where it was decent while we was in it. Now the ending, as y'all see by this fucking story time, that was crazier, that was different. So everything that I was complaining about to Ashley, it was not major as comparisons to her. Like her nigga is cheating every 2 months with the same hoes. She would look at my problems that small, which they were honestly, because they were just like lack of communication type shit. Ron has said like the most heartbreaking shit to me ever, and this is what caused us to like take a break. Like we took a break because I believe it was like February, y'all. And I honestly, this is kind of like what reminded me of this story time too. Y'all, me and this boy was together for roughly almost 2.5, 3 years, 2.5, 3 years. And we was on the phone. I think it was like February something. We was on before Valentine's Day. We was on the phone, and I was like, so what are you getting me? And y'all, mind you, I ain't never had no promise ring before outside of my booski, my man. I've never had a promise ring before. I've never had a real Valentine's before. And y'all, I feel like I fucking settled. Like looking back at that shit, I settled as fuck. But I never had nothing special for Valentine's Day. I never even had flowers from this guy. Mind you, I grew up in the atmosphere in a house where flowers are something that I'm constantly getting. Like every 2 weeks I'm getting a new bouquet of flowers. Like it's not hard. And I remember I was sharing my screen and I was like, oh, look at that, this is what she get, or you get me, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't hinting like, oh, I want a promise ring, but I was hinting like, okay, like is this the year for something, you know? So this boy legit on the phone, he ended up saying, oh, I'm not gonna give you any of that because you don't deserve it. Y'all, my heart stopped and my mouth dropped, like, and nobody could pick it up. And you know, I was sad, and then I got hurt, and then I got mad. I was like, what do you mean? Because what the fuck do you mean I don't deserve no fucking flowers? $14 flowers? It was like, oh yeah, I just don't feel like we're at a place where I should give that to you, and if I give that to you, I want us to be like at a a good place where I know everything is like for sure. Mind y'all, I'm gonna do a whole nother separate story time on me and Ron's relationship. So I was like, okay, I gotta end up breaking up with him, taking a break. I had a vacation coming up. We was going back to Jamaica, so I was like, all right, this give me time to clear my head. So went down there. I ain't talked to, I think I was gone for a week maybe, and in the span of that week, me and Ashley was talking. I was like, can you watch him for me? And she was like, yeah, I got you. But the type of person Ron was, like, when shit was difficult or bad between me and him, he would go to the people that I'm closest to try to figure out how to make me feel better. And that's what I'm saying, like, he showed up in some ways, but in other ways he also did not show up. This one shit really started getting juicy. So me and Ron, like I said, I'm in Jamaica. I have Ashley watching him, and he come to have a conversation with Ashley, and he ended up saying some shit like, oh, the only shit we ever had in the past was she came to my basketball game and she had met my mama. This one actually really started like showing herself. So the conversation that they initially had was him going to her saying, me and Christelle going through some shit. I know you the closest person to her right now, so can you tell me like where her mind is at, what she doing? Can I, like, how can I resolve this? Because I've heard him say this to other people that I was Ashley had told me. He ended up saying that's not what the fuck I said at all, and Ashley basically is lying. And when I say time had went by, time did had go by telling me this is what I actually said to Ashley, because I even went and I confronted Red throughout that time, and she was like, I just seen his mom, we went to the same school and we all was there. It was nothing like that. Mind you, Red didn't know shit that was going on, because the only 3 people I'm telling you knew, it was me, him, and Ashley. But Ashley's coming back to me saying, oh, he said him and Red was dating and the mom was hanging out with Red. Like, I mean, she fabricated everything, y'all. She dragged it. So, you know, in the midst of that, I ended up kind of like distancing myself, because even though he was telling me that, I was very much so aware that he was fucking with someone new. And I'm not sure if y'all ever witnessed this or been through this, but it's like when you're dealing with someone for so long and you're so used to just you and them, and it's like a third person, and I don't know, this might just be me, but it's a third person involved, I kind of just don't want you no more. I ended up finding out that her and Ron ended up started dealing with each other, y'all. I kind of just seen what I seen, and I accepted the fact that me and Ashley was not cool anymore, and that shit broke my heart, because I reached out to that girl for 4 months straight trying to figure out what was going on. Whole time you was just being a snake, you know what I mean? And you know, I appreciate her not trying to be in my face and actively doing that, but it still hurts, because it's like I would expect you to be here with me going through everything just how I was. Like, I held you when you was crying. Why can't you hold me? And I asked for it. Devin, y'all remember Devin, the one that Ashley was fucking with? Devin has started like being on my shit a lot more. I was just asking questions, and I was like, this shit seemed a little weird, and I was just trying to get some shit across, like, you used to fuck with Ashley and you know me and her friends. And then he ended up telling me some shit like, oh, you don't even know type shit. So he was like, oh, I thought that shit wouldn't have meant nothing to you given what happened. I'm like, what happened? Because y'all, I did end up leaving school. I left probably like 2 months into senior year to go to another school because of something else, y'all. And he ended up telling me like, oh, Ashley and Ron started fucking with each other. I was like, that's crazy. But y'all, that's the story time. With that being said, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next YouTube video. Bye.